welcome to the tutorial video for the CVDPREVENT Data and Improvement Tool. The Data and Improvement Tool is the place to go to find all the data available via the audit. You can find data for all published indicators, split by every demographic grouping and aggregated to every system level. It is all publicly available on the internet. You just need to go to cvdprevent.nhs.uk. The main sections of the tool are the Regional and ICS Insights view, the Data Explorer, the Outcomes page, and the Data Extracts page. Today I'm going to take you through a worked example showing how you could use the tool to look into the data for a specific organisation. Let's start with the Regional and ICS Insights view. First, you are prompted to select a time period. For the most up-to-date data, you can select the December 2025 data. For this example, I'm going to choose March 2025. You'll then be asked to select a region or ICB. For this example, I'm going to choose an ICB. The Regional and ICS Insights view shows a list of indicators we've chosen to highlight, based on what we knew ICSs were focusing on. At the top are the ABC indicators: atrial fibrillation, blood pressure, and cholesterol. This is the default tab. There are also tabs for chronic kidney disease, prevalence indicators, and smoking and BMI indicators. For this example, I'm going to look at the CVDP007-HYP indicator, which looks at patients with hypertension whose last blood pressure reading was treated to threshold in the last 12 months. On the right-hand side, the chart shows that 71.05% of patients with hypertension had their last blood pressure reading brought to target in this particular ICB, with the national value shown above at 70.31%. Where national ambitions exist, these are shown on the charts as a greyed out area with a dashed line, with the number of patients needed to reach that ambition shown just below the chart. For this ICB, just over 17,000 patients are needed to reach the 80% ambition. If you're interested in a particular indicator, you can select the Open Indicator view. Once open, this gives you several different views of the data. The first is the time series view, a time series for your selected ICB, or whichever system level you've chosen, compared with England, showing data from 2022 to December 2025. Using this button, you can flip to a table view, showing the actual figures for national and ICB alongside the national numerators and denominators for the indicator. The next view is the Inequalities Marker tab. This shows how different demographic groups are changing over time in relation to the indicator, for example, by age group, ethnicity, and learning disability. As before, you can flip between chart and table view. The final two tabs are perhaps the most useful for benchmarking. Next is a system-level comparison. This shows your selected organisation alongside similar organisations in a single chart, so you can see the ICB that you've selected achievement compared with others in England. Finally, the Area Breakdown tab. This looks at the breakdown within your selected organisation's area, including sub-ICB, PCN, and also practice. Now I'll move on to demonstrate the Data Explorer tab. This section of the tool takes a single indicator and puts all the detail onto one page. As with the Insights view, you'll first need to specify a time period and system level. However, unlike the ICS Insights view, the Explorer view allows you to drill down further to sub-ICB, PCN, and practice level. This time I'll select a PCN. As there are many practices, to make this chart easier to interpret, as with the others, you can flip this into a table view, showing each practice and its value. Here at the bottom, you can export this as a CSV or an Excel file in order to create your own charts. For example, to focus on specific practices or to visualise the data in a different way. In addition to inequalities charts, there are also area comparison charts on this tab. The chart on the left shows where your selected PCN sits against all other PCNs within its ICB. In this example, the PCN performs well compared with its local peers. The chart on the right shows performance for this indicator across all practices within the selected PCN, which can highlight variation within the PCN itself. As with the other charts, you can select the table tile and download the data for your own use. Now I've selected my PCN and I'm once again looking at the CVDP007 HYP indicator. At the top of this page are the high-level figures. An area value, which is the value for your selected organisation, in this case the PCN, and a system median. This is the median taken from the system level you've selected. In this case, the median taken from PCN values across England. You can compare here that this PCN sits above the PCN median. Further down, inequalities markers for this PCN for this indicator are shown on bar charts. These highlight specific demographic groups that you might want to focus on in quality improvement work. By selecting the Show System/National Values button, this displays the yellow dot, which is the PCN median, and the green dot, the national value, on the chart. Please note that PCN level data cannot currently be split by deprivation quintile, though this is available at other system levels. You can see the difference between sexes, with the purple bar representing males and the pink bar representing females. Male and female splits are also shown across age groups. For example, in this PCN, males with GP recorded hypertension aged 18 to 59 appear less likely to have their last blood pressure reading brought to the appropriate treatment threshold in the preceding 12 months, compared with their female counterparts. You can also see differences between ethnic groups and compare these to national values. As with other charts, you can switch between a chart and a table view and export the data to create your own charts. Once the outcome view opens, you'll again be prompted to select a time period and system level. This time I'll choose a region. This data is reported over a year, for example, October 2024 to September 2025 being the latest time period. Once selected, you can then either choose a mortality or admissions indicator from the drop-down list. This time I'm going to look at the CVDP002 MORT indicator. At the top are all the high-level figures. Much like the Explorer view, there are inequalities charts for the indicator, with this system level showing a deprivation chart for the ICB. There is also an Area Comparisons tab, which has a comparisons chart on the left with other regions in England, and on the right, a comparison of other ICBs within the region. The next section is the Outcomes page. This linked dataset has enabled the production of 10 new experimental outcome indicators, added to the Data and Improvement tool within the Outcomes section. The indicators were created to investigate outcomes for 3 patient groups. The first are people with GP recorded CVD. The second, patients with a GP record of 1 or more high-risk conditions. And the third, patients with GP recorded hypertension, aged 18 to 79. The analysis follows each group and calculates how many die or are hospitalised due to heart attack or stroke in the following year, giving an overall calculation of risk of that event occurring for that group. The measures have been age standardised to allow comparison across areas with different age profiles. First is the homepage with information and a link to the Outcomes Indicator Guide. To access the data, scroll down and select Continue to Outcomes. The last of the main sections is the Data Extracts page. Here you can specify a time period, system level and indicator. Then scroll down and press the blue button to download all the data as a CSV file to manipulate for yourself. The final part of the tool to mention, which is accessible from the home page, is the Audit dropdown. Here you can access the Resources page, which has useful links to key documents relating to the audit, as well as the Quality Improvement page, which also has resources that may help support quality improvement work once you've understood your data and the improvement opportunities it shows. In here is where you can find the Quality Improvement data packs that are bespoke for each ICB and updated quarterly. If you have any feedback on the tool, have encountered any issues or have ideas for features that would make it more useful, please click the feedback button at the bottom of the homepage to share your thoughts.